after 2 days of hectic bidding, the final shape of the squads is there for all of us to see, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing in the next 1 hour or so, taking a look at each squad. How is it that they've panned out? Which were the smartest teams on the auction tables? Which one did not get all the right options? All of that we're going to be discussing, but 673 crores is what is the total amount of money that is spent, and what is the total amount of players that has been sold?
Well, if you look at it, I'll just go side by side when you look at it. Only 1 or 2 teams have not fulfilled their entire quota of players. So if you want to look at 250 overall, you look at it, 23 out of 25. Only Delhi Capitals have purchased the least. Kolkata 21 out of 25.
No. Rajasthan.
Yeah, Rajasthan have
Just want
20
to
of
know
20.
the total. So let's go 22 plus 20 plus 25.
Yeah.
So that is 47, 57, 67. Please, next, up, please, up. Yeah, 67, 3, that's 70, 90, that is 114, 135, up, 135, and you've got 50, so that's 185, 185, and 208
players.
That's correct. So a total of 208 players have been sold, 673 crore rupees spent. All have gone in the range of in the 20s, as we said. 25 is the maximum, 18 is the minimum, 22 seems to be the average.
Yes.
In terms of what is the total number of players that franchises have got. Let's start with, I want to know the biggest shocker for you, the biggest shocker in this auction for you.
Shardul Thakur not getting a bid.
Oh, I agree.
Shardul Thakur is a utility player, always has been in the teams. Say for example CSK, he's won the title with them in 2021. 4.4 crores even in the previous auction. Did the injury which kept him out for a long period of time and the lack of form that he's showing, has that really impacted Shardul Thakur's chances in an IPL? Has the impact player rule has it worked against Shardul Thakur? Which is what I think has gone against. I mean, unsold. For a guy who was in KKR, for a guy who was in GT also, if you look at it, you look at CSK, how could you not buy someone like Shardul Thakur? So, for me, big miss.
I agree. One of the biggest misses of this auction is Shardul Thakur. And I'm just looking at my colleagues. We had like 6 hours to do absolutely nothing, but nobody could arrange anything. It's just that when we are going live, then everyone wants water, Diet Coke. And what did you do for 6 hours?
Well, prod the keyboard, look into the screen, hoping there'd be a break, but courtesy all the hyperactivity that was happening in Jeddah. Well, there were a few breaks, you could say, but that didn't mean that the work stopped for us. So the analyzing, scripting, all of that was on. So that's why we're also coming to terms with all that has happened.
Shardul Thakur, please.
Shardul Thakur, I'm not, I'm surprised, but I'm not sort of, blown away.
I'm shocked. I thought he would be a 10-odd crore player. He would get that much money. All-rounder, Indian all-rounder, he was injured, all right. He's made a return. But suddenly to go out of favor like this, to go unsold, I mean, I see a lot of players.
He's a utility player, and there could have surely been room, and there was room. We saw how the last hour or so at the auction was. But yeah, funny things happen in the auction. I think the injury has a lot to do with it. Yes, he played in the domestic very recently, and he played another Mumbai match, again one of the lesser known tournaments that I also am failing to recall right now. The returns weren't that great. I think he went wicketless as well. So primarily I think it's the injury that has put him off the radar. But still, does it mean that he didn't get a single bid? Is a little surprising to me.
Anybody else surprised, or we go on to the next player?
I see. I was surprised for the first time when he was unsold, but after that, I did not expect him to get a buyer. And I think more than the injury, the bigger reason is you having this rule of impact player rule. Like I mentioned in the previous live as well, I think as soon as you have the impact player rule, somebody like a Shardul Thakur is absolutely out of the whole equation. Not a match winner with the bat, not somebody who can run away with the match, not somebody who can run away with the ball. Still, definitely a very big shocker, but I sort of got those signs in the when first time only he was unsold.
Okay, any other shockers? For me, I'm going to pick one, Prithvi Shaw not getting sold. I know that there are issues, disciplinary issues with him, but some of the batters that have been sold, I think even now he can, on a given day, he can be the X factor, can really explode. No team bidding for him. The only reason I can attribute to it is that, word travels around, it spreads around, people have gotten to know that, listen, it's risky to have him. There were word that doesn't turn up for practice. Mumbai recently dropped him. From there, Ranji Trophy squad asked him to lose weight. But I am a bit surprised. Social media is a buzz. In terms of him not getting sold, people are talking about it. It's a big talking point. I don't know. So I'm surprised. If you're not surprised, then you can come in, because whoever is surprised doesn't have to be. Are you surprised, Siddharth?
No, I'm not surprised. Because as I pointed out earlier, the returns that he had for 2023 and 2024 were not that great. It was coming amidst the turmoil of all the off-field issues that were happening side by side also. So that is why I'm not surprised that he was not picked. But yeah, there was a faint expectation. Maybe one franchisee, for all that he's done, maybe one franchisee could have expressed an interest at even 75 lakhs, not necessarily a crore or something. But for all the turmoil that's there, I think it was a fair assessment. I think the fans and the teams are looking beyond him. Maybe 2-3 years later, let's see what happens. In case if there's an emergency, if a player gets injured, then he might be drafted in. Who knows?
No, I think more than it's not about the performance. There are many other players who haven't had the best of the seasons previously, who haven't been doing well in the domestic circuit, have even major issues as far as fitness and their skill set is concerned. I think more than that, it's just the word has traveled. I think it was sort of a boycott, if not a boycott that was talked about. But yeah, every team did not want somebody like a Prithvi Shaw. I think the only reason for that is the disciplinary reasons that he has been facing. And I think, like I mentioned, it's a very big risk. Your teams, if Prithvi Shaw, if things are to be believed, whatever happened in the previous seasons with Prithvi Shaw, then having him in your team can really spoil the reputation of your team, and no team would want to risk so much, especially to have somebody like a Prithvi Shaw whose form has been deteriorating each season.
That is harsh. I mean, the way that no team would want to, because of disciplinary issues.
It's not that hard.
It's like you don't want to. Sometimes the word travels around and say, oh, I've heard. See, teams talk, right? Oh, I've heard this thing about him. Let's just
stay away.
Yeah, that sort of a thing. Because talent-wise, I don't see that you cannot have him. Yes, he's been inconsistent, but I can think of a lot of players that have been inconsistent, but they go on potential. Again, I'm not comparing him to a Glenn Maxwell. He's not that level, but Glenn Maxwell, same thing, inconsistent. But when it comes to it, you will bid for him, because they're not other issues. Amiable guy, good for the team, good atmosphere. Here, I think that's the only issue that I can say.
I look at another factor. I think this is, you've known him for about 7-8 years now. He's 25. He was making the buzz as a 15-year-old, in fact. So actually, it's been about a decade that you've known Prithvi Shaw. And does the talent anymore? I think you've hit that saturation as far as expectation from him is concerned, because there was nothing really to show for the last good 2 to 3 years for Prithvi Shaw. Disciplinary issues have only worsened things. And last point being that does the talent offset the disciplinary issues that he comes in with? Do you have an upswing, or do you see that talent being more of an upswing, and it compensates for the loss of image, or that little dent to image that he can cause, or just the difficult character he may be? I don't think anymore. I think now you've had enough of Prithvi Shaw, and for that reason, not one bid for him.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
See, again, just the last thing. Again, the only thing I don't agree here with, if it would have been the skill, see, there is a Manish Pandey also who's got a buyer. So Prithvi Shaw.
He comes in with experience.
No, but then he has gotten to that experience. He got that experience after
Plus
being
nice
so
boy image.
No,
Nice
yeah,
boy image
exactly.
of the
That's why
Manish
I'm saying it's not about the game. It's about the discipline, because there's a Manish Pandey who's been much more inconsistent and still has ended up getting a buyer. There have been seasons where he hasn't got a buyer, so he still ended up getting a buyer. So Prithvi Shaw, I think, should have gotten a buyer. Definitely would not have started. Maybe would have been the third or fourth choice player. But again, doesn't really make sense.
Anybody else? Any shockers that you?
For the rate that he was bought in and now not getting a bid, Daryl Mitchell. 14 crores he was bought for by CSK. Now from 14 directly to 0. Man, that is really, really harsh. But it is not surprising. I'm shocked for the fact that what you saw in 2024 with 14 crores, that you're not seeing it now. Because the form is the same, the utility is the same. At that time, maybe the dynamic of a mini auction. Now in the mega auction, I think you've seen, okay, we may have no place for a Daryl Mitchell. So that's why from 14 crore to now 0.
How about another player, Sarfraz? I thought maybe somebody could have looked. I know he went unsold last time. He's not, in the test 11, but he's a busy player, can get you runs. I thought at a base price, someone might just chip in, because you sometimes need, an Indian batter, you need a out and out batter. There's an impact player also, always get him to do it. I don't know.
I see. I totally.
Younger brother stole the show. He got picked, the older brother didn't get
No,
picked.
but younger brother, all rounder, you knew.
I just feel that I totally agree with you. Sarfaraz definitely a utility player. He's somebody who can chip in with those crucial runs in the middle order with white ball also. In fact, he made his name through white ball cricket only at the age of 17 when he played for that Royal Challengers Bangalore. But I think
More than that under 19 World Cup.
No. He played the IPL even before playing the under 19 World Cup. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that I think during the auctions it's more about what the player's reputation is more than because owners themselves are not that much in the game. It's more about the others who are there. So I think everybody looks at him in a very different way. You needed a smart buyer to buy a Sarfaraz and sort of somehow slot in into the team. But I think it's more about what the perception is towards the player. Which I think the same thing that happened with Prithvi Shaw has sort of also happened with Sarfaraz Khan for different reasons, of course.
In fact, it's sort of the same way that I look at the Sarfaraz and the Prithvi Shaw situation, not disciplinary issues wise, but also he was also young to sort of make his name. And look how the benchmark has really changed. You've got a 13-year-old who's now a multi-millionaire and has an IPL franchise. So the talent's getting younger. And because you've seen enough of these guys, maybe you've just run out of time, because you're looking at players who are much younger, and by 24, 25, which is again the age, Sarfaraz isn't too old either, but he's been around the scene for too long for you to have made a judgment on him. He spent decent amount of time at two franchises, at Delhi and RCB, and there was no paucity of opportunities for him at either franchises. But the reputation and perception about him has changed, and now you're looking at younger players at 24, 25. If you're not impressing enough, having been around for a decent amount of time, franchises are looking at younger talent.
Okay, talking about younger players, the one that's making a headline, Vaibhav Suryavanshi. If you want to know about him, I think you've tuned into the best place on the planet, because I think the only platform that featured him well before he was sold. That interview is still up on Sports Today. That was done by Shashwat. Shashwat spent enough time with him. A 13-year-old crorepati, that's the biggest headline maker. Before I come to Shashwat to tell us the person that he is, we have our data guy in our data section, which is Siddharth. Siddharth, can you give us some insight? His big pointers, what all has he achieved in 13 years of age?
Well, born in the year when India won the World Cup in 2011, he was born. And when you look at it, already from a very young age, he started making big strides in age group cricket. Became the youngest to make his debut in the Ranji Trophy. But his main claim to fame was 100 that he hit of 60 balls against Australia when they had come for that unofficial 2 tests and in the one-dayers that had followed in that sense. The 100 that he hit, many of the analysts there labelled him to a left-handed AB de Villiers. So that is the one thing that he's been spoken about. Vaibhav Suryavanshi at the age of 13, 1.1 crore. 13 years, he's already become the youngest crorepati in India when you look at it. And Ranji Trophy debut so far for Bihar and all of the places that he's played in. Not a great start, but he's slowly but surely getting there. But the 100 that he hit against Australia, that is what propelled him into the national starlight.
Okay, Shashwat, tell us about your friend. First question before you.
Yeah.
Have you seen his Aadhaar card? Did you check it?
Yeah. I did. It's
Is the spelling all right there?
yeah. The spelling's all right because the broadcasters are not definitely not putting the right spelling out there.
Yeah.
But I think I was really fortunate enough to do this interview quite a while back. I think it's been a year when I did that. He was just yeah.
You had to do it twice, right?
Yeah, I had to do it twice. At that time, he wasn't a star, na, so we could go and do it twice. We had the luxury to go and do it twice. But anyways, I think a class batter in that sense. You know, he's a
What's he like a person? Does he look like 13-year-old when you met him?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying whether he's 13 or not.
Yeah.
Did he look like 13?
See, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting him to be 13 years old when I went, but I'd gone with Pawan, our producer right now. So the first reaction that we had when we saw him was the same, that we really weren't expecting him to look like a 13-year-old because we sort of thought that
can
it's
look here and
yeah,
talk, huh?
that it could he could be overage, but when we met him, I think we could see it on his face that he's definitely pretty young, and I think that was truly the case when you talked to him also.
Yeah, you know why I'm asking? Because like a 13-year-old, I've seen shots of him batting. I've seen him. I mean, again, honestly, I haven't met him, but to me, the way he's batting and walking and doing things and talking, I mean, to me, he looks like a 15, 16-year-old, not a 13-year-old. At least I'm just honest. Maybe he matured. There are kids who mature much earlier. Some take time. To me, it looked like
But
that.
definitely the way with the maturity he bats, I think that's also really surprising for me to see. Also to believe that a 13-year-old can bat with this maturity. I've seen many play
Shashwat, to add to your point, he's got good power. Some of the shots that he played in that Australia series,
Yeah.
Yeah.
tremendous power
Oh,
for
yeah,
a 13-year-old. It was really good for that.
And not just that, and so much maturity. You can just sense that maturity in his batting. All the shots that you have seen, and he knows what it takes to do on the biggest stage. Fitness, definitely one thing, is something he really needs to work on. And I just had that chat with him after that century that he got against Australia, because the way he got out in that game. He actually he did not drag his bat in, and he got out for 100. In fact, the day he got the century, we talked that day that he needs to convert it into a big one, which he wasn't able to do, for which he was really disappointed as well. But fitness is something. But I feel one thing that is really good for him is that he's gone to a very good franchise. I think Rajasthan Royals is going to really nurture him all throughout the year. It's not only going to be about the IPL, and that's something that is very important, because at the age of 13, if you're getting so much money, coming from a very humble background, you can also end up becoming a Prithvi Shaw. That's the best case study when we talk about that.
Well, if you have to see Rajasthan Royals, you're right. Just ask Riyan Parag how much they have backed him, how much they have nurtured him in that sense. In that way, Vaibhav Suryavanshi is one of the best franchisee. But if you have to seriously look at Vaibhav Suryavanshi's career progressing, he has to change his cricket board. Because of the status that is there in Bihar, you don't know which is the official cricket board in Bihar.
No,
There
but
are three different factions.
But I think that has also been an advantage to him in that sense. He would not have been able to gotten so many opportunities, might not have been highlighted so much. In fact, he had gotten an opportunity from the Tamil Nadu Cricket Board also to go and play a few leagues there, which he sort of wasn't able to do because he was playing cricket all around. Now it's too late. Now he's in the IPL. He's a regular member of the India Under-19 side as well. So now changing the board, I don't think it's going to be too helpful in that sense, because now he's also part of the Under-19 Asia Cup that's going to start from 30th of November. So he's going to be a key member there also. But
it
just
will
imagine
be a short-term gain. For the long term, I'm just looking at it, because Bihar has been in turmoil for the past decade or so. Or for decades, how much I can remember. When I stepped into this field, there was already problems in Bihar cricket. So that's why for the long-term gain, I want Vaibhav Suryavanshi to go to a different board so that his first-class career can be stable.
He's definitely going to be nurtured very nicely, and that is something I'm very happy about. He had given 2 trials, both those I'm pretty sure he would have impressed at both, because those were the only 2 franchises who really went in for that bidding war and took that price to a 1 crore. So definitely would have impressed there. That's a very big reason now he's part of Rajasthan Royals. Yeah, happy for him. You can
Okay.
see that interview too.
Okay, you can check that out. It's an old interview. There's also a profile of, if you want to know a bit more about him, that has been done on the channel. You can check all of that out. What we're going to do is now, as we did yesterday, bring each team in and then look at their squad and try and look at their 11 and then rank how they are actually looking at the moment. So the reason I want to start with these 2 franchises, because these are the 2 franchises that are going to have a lot of talk about their captaincy. At the moment, I don't think there is any confusion over any franchise in terms of captaincy other than Royal Challengers Bangalore and Kolkata Knight Riders. I don't think definitely I can put my finger at it and tell you which will be what captain. So let's start with KKR. We'll have the 11s up on our screen. And the first question is Ajinkya Rahane your captain?
No. It is going to be Venkatesh Iyer, because Venkatesh Iyer was bought for 23.75 crores. If you are looking at a new 3-year cycle where KKR have to ensure that you need a young captain, you need a guy who can carry forward the legacy and ensure they are a solid unit, then it makes sense to have Venkatesh Iyer as your captain for a 3-year cycle. Ajinkya Rahane is just there as a backup. And because Venkatesh Iyer is going to start in every game, I don't see Ajinkya Rahane starting in every game. Which is why I think you want a captain who's going to start every game. And Rahane, when you look at his T20, correct me if I am wrong, I think Rahane isn't captaining Mumbai in the Syed Mushtaq.
No, he isn't.
He isn't.
Shreyas Iyer is.
So, Rahane is a red ball captain.
No, but that's because you have a Shreyas Iyer in that. No, in this team, even Venkatesh Iyer is untested.
Yeah.
So I am not sure who is it that you can go up. The only person with captaincy experience and who's a good captain is Ajinkya Rahane. I think the only problem here is how do you fit him into the 11?
Yes.
If he shows the form of 2 seasons ago that he showed with CSK, then I see no problem. He fits in, becomes the perfect captain. If he does not, and if you're not risking to go with him, that's where your problem arises. Then you need to look at a Venkatesh Iyer or a Narain, who also didn't have great returns, or a Russell, or even a Rinku Singh. I don't know who you look at. But right now, it's all up in the air. But the best captaincy option, purely on captaincy, I think Ajinkya Rahane is the best option.
He won the Ranji Trophy last time around. He's still captaining Mumbai in the Ranji Trophy. It's midway. It's just 5 games in between. You have the S match, so that's why you have Shreyas Iyer there. But I think that it a very high possibility that Ajinkya Rahane captains, because KKR as a franchise is a really smart franchise. They've really done smart buys. They know how to go about their business. They haven't ever really previously gone with a sort of newish captain. Shreyas Iyer was a seasoned campaigner. They made Dinesh Karthik a captain. They've made Ian Morgan their captain. So they have made captains who sort of aren't the best options as far as getting them into the 11 is concerned, but they are really good captains and they've turned out to be really good captains.
Okay,
so Ajinkya Rahane could be that one option who I think could captain KKR. Otherwise, there was no other reason to go for Ajinkya Rahane. You know why? Because I'll tell you why. Because if it was Angresh Raghuvanshi to play at number 3 by the side that we are going at, they have other options like money. They had Powell at number 3. They also bought in a Moeen Ali. You did not need many batting options for that number 3 position. So I think the reason to go after him could also be that he's captaining, that he could be a captain option.
Okay, if that is the case, then there are 2 individuals in that side who have had solid white ball captaincy. One is Sunil Narain, but his tenure with Abu Dhabi Knight Riders in the ILT20 was a disaster. Okay, they finished bottom of the table. Andre Russell is also kind of captaincy material when you have to look at it. Now you're saying the guys who KKR have picked, they have had solid captaincy experience in the past. You spoke about Brendan McCullum, you spoke about Gautam Gambhir, you spoke about Owen Morgan. But KKR might not now want to look at it, otherwise then it just doesn't justify the price by which they bought Venkatesh Iyer for. because he's not an all-rounder. I mean, let's be very, very honest about it. He isn't a bowling all-rounder. He's a batter who can be the captain.
Okay, let's try and rate this team. How do you think the squad is? We tried to make the 11. The squad is, of course, much bigger. You can see the squad also on top. I'll start with the one weakness that I see. I do see a couple of weaknesses. One in their opening batting, because I don't know how long the Narain experiment will work. It's worked sometimes, it's failed on more occasions than that. So do you continue with that? Secondly, both QDK, Gurbaz, QDK not playing international cricket, so I'm not 100% sure, how he's going to be. Gurbaz has also been hit and miss. So like a lot of other teams where openers scare you, I'm not really scared with KKR openers, and their fast bowling also. I know Harshit Rana was good form. Nokia, you don't know. He's been in full form so far. So they look at, a few other bowlers there that they have. They've got Umran, maybe they bring in again, really untested. So their fast bowling as well as their opening slots seem to be the weakness. They've got all bases covered. They bat very deep, but I think their fast bowling and their just opening, because you don't know which way the opening will go.
Fast bowling, they just have Harshit Rana, Nokia, Ramandeep and Russell. Two are part-timers and one is okay and in the peak of his form. But Nokia, again, after what happened with him with Delhi last time, I'm not too sure about him either. Same, batting also, but again I feel Raghuvanshi is another option who can open if either one of the openers don't do well. So I think that still is sort of covered, but I think they need to be very smart about how they use their batters. You cannot be batting a Rinku and a Russell at 7-8 and then expect to win the IPL.
How would you rate this squad?
6.5.
From 10?
Can we give 0.5 or does it need to be?
You can if you want to.
6.5.
Yeah, okay.
I'll rate it 6 out of 10.
I was being a little.
Yeah. I'm also not too. I'll go with you guys. 6. Yeah. Okay. 6. So not really the best looking.
I'm actually going 8.
You're going 8. Okay.
Because I think they've done exactly what they wanted to. They've kept their core, and as we've seen in the past, Mumbai CSK prime examples. You keep the core intact, you're likely to succeed. So I like what they did.
Okay, we'll try and get an average for it a little later. Let's turn to our next team right now, and that is going to be Royal Challengers Bangalore. And why we want to talk about it, because I said we'll start with the two franchises where captaincy is an issue. So the big thing right now in terms of captaincy, that is Virat Kohli. Is Virat Kohli the RCB captain? Is that what it seems like? Because I'm looking at that squad, and honestly, I see no option. I'll give you some options that people will talk about. People could talk about Krunal. He did captain Lucknow Super Giants briefly. There could be Jitesh, who was vice captain at one point, with the Indian team. And then there's Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who could be someone that you can look at in terms of captaincy. But if I look at all captaincy options that they've got, I'm going with Virat.
One more captaincy option they have, who was trying to be the captain last time quite desperately, Tim David. He tried to show his captaincy credentials a lot last year with the Mumbai Indians. So he might as well be thinking that he could be one option. I don't know if the franchise is thinking or not, but he definitely is thinking, because last year so he was very into all the planning, and he tried. I don't know if he was part of the leadership group or not, but yeah, if he was, it seemed like he was part of the leadership group. So if he was a part of the leadership group in Mumbai Indians, then here maybe this a very
Who's your captain?
Outside chance. For me, I'm just keeping in mind that Virat wouldn't captain, so that's why for me it's Krunal.
Virat, hands down, is the captain. Because are you going to make a bowler as your captain? In RCB.
Who bowler?
Bhuvaneshwar. Bhuvi has captaincy experience in the UP domestic circuit, but then in the IPL, when you look at it, see, they have made Daniel Vettori in the past as a captain. He was a bowler. Yeah, he was an SRH captain also. So, would you want to get Bhuvaneshwar Kumaran as your captain? That's one very interesting thing. Knowing RCB and their conservativeness, I don't think so. And that is why Virat is the captain. One last push for him.
Arshad, what is it that you're doing? I'm writing thesis.
No, because I'm in the company of a veteran, and he's doing all the talking, and I'm enjoying just listening. Two veterans. Two. To my left. But I said that I'd want to make a comment on the leadership for RCB after the auction's done. And now I think they really have no option but to beg, borrow, plead, whatever that they want to do now. And just ask
Why do
Virat.
they have to beg? See, if the team has been made, they would have consulted Virat. If it's become like this, they don't have to. They would have had a plan in mind. Either they have somebody in mind that they're going to give the captaincy to, or it's Virat only.
Given how the auction's gone for them, I don't think the word planning was anywhere in the conversation for RCB. But jokes aside, I'm not too sure if Virat would have okayed being the captain right at the very start. I think things have gone not as per plan for RCB because I've seen no inkling from Virat that he would want to take up leadership again. Yes, he said it out loud clearly numerous times that RCB is the franchise that he sticks with for the rest of his life. But captaincy was nowhere mentioned. So I think for me, I'll be taken by surprise if Virat Kohli is reinstated as the captain.
Well, if you want me to say, Virat was captain of RCB for 8 years. Okay. In that period, led them to the knockout stages regularly, failed spectacularly also. 2 wooden spoons also. Rating Virat Kohli's captaincy when it comes to RCB and with the resources that he had available because of his and the management's own doing, it's only about, I would rate it a very, very average score of 51%. I would rate his approval in that sense for captaincy for RCB. But as far as this squad is concerned, I am giving it 2 out of 10.
That's terrible. That's
I
a
remember,
total bias.
I was just thinking.
I
was just thinking. We did this same exercise last time after the auction, and as soon as RCB came or that flashback came, I remember Vishy sir giving the exact same numbers to RCB.
And they did pretty well.
No, but just before,
Yes,
just before
exactly.
Eliminator.
Yeah,
Just
just before.
But that's top 4. That's a
That's
top
top
4
four.
team. If you gave any team 2 points and they made it to top 4, I'm sorry, but the analysis is way off.
No.
It
I'll
is.
tell you why.
It is.
Again,
A 2, if you get 2 out of 10, they make playoff.
83 crores in your kitty, you could have had the best players that you could have had. You didn't RTM Mohammad Siraj, you didn't RTM Akash Deep, Will Jacks, you let him go to Mumbai Indians for 5.25. You're left with Liam Livingston, who's not been in form. Okay. Patidar, Devdutt, okay, you are going to start with Rajat Patidar. Okay. Phil Salt, you don't know which side of the bed he will turn up on. You got Jitesh. Okay, good luck in trying to ensure that he does well. Krunal, Tim David is more miss than hit. Dayal, Rasik Salam, Suyash, Hazelwood, Bhuneshwar. Fine, they'll puff their way into the playoffs all over again. Like what happened?
If a team, by the way, Siddharth, if a team reaches playoff and you're saying even this team will reach playoff, then they can't be getting 2 out of 10. That's my only argument. You have your valid point that they didn't retain this, didn't retain that. There are problems. You'll do it. But then to give 2 is and then you can't say they're going to reach playoff. Then if you're giving 2 out of 10, then you have to say, I write it on a piece of paper, they are finishing last. Then I agree. Go for 2.
Fine, okay. You know the circumstances what happened in 2024. By that time, when I had rated 2 out of 10, even then also, they had lost 6 out of 7 games and they were staring dead last. What happened afterwards? Individual brilliances propelled them into the eliminator. Of course.
That's what happens in
individuals
IPL.
also they bought in the IPL auction
but
only.
individual brilliances only take teams now. There will be somebody
But
or the other who will.
Forget that. They had already won the IPL. When they beat Chennai Super Kings, they beat them at the Chinnaswamy. That was it. They celebrated as if they won the IPL. So why are we harping on the fact that they made it to the playoffs? They won the IPL.
Okay, we have to move on to all teams. You've given 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that they really pulled back things much better today. Day 2 was pretty good for RCB. The way they started was clearly very, very terrible. And I think after that only, I think it was day end of day one when they would have talked to Virat, and Virat's mind has come into this team and they've started planning out according to that, because today was a much better day for them. I think it's just this, because see, Hazelwood, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, I think the best options for the contestants they have, they aren't really quick. They're somebody who can swing the ball and they are not too quick, who can, sort of take into the cleaners very easily. So I think good on them on to buy a Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Tim David and Rasik Salam and Dayal are also sort of the same options. Good to get Krunal, Livingston they had already had yesterday. They've that particular good backup for Patidar, and he can even open if required. So I think today they've done a really good job. The only place I think where they are going to suffer is the spinning department. They just have Suyash and Krunal, nobody a wicket taking spinner in that sense, and Suyash not the ideal conditions for him, so unlucky, he is really unlucky to be in RCB. But other than that, I gave 6 to KKR, 6.5 to KKR. So I think I'll give a 7 to RCB.
I think it's they're inferior to KKR, so I'm giving 6. 6.5 to KKR. I'm giving 6 to RCB.
We haven't taken out the average yet.
We haven't, so we will take out the average a little later. You can write the different points for KKR. It was 6.5, 6.5, 6, and 8. 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, comma 6.5, comma 6.
Once again 6.5.
You don't have to put brackets.
6 and 8.
Okay,
yes, Harshit.
See, we've only done KKR yet, but if I'm comparing, this is a weaker team to, if you ask me. I think they're a quality fast bowler short as well, as far as RCB are concerned. Yes, Yash Dayal starts, also Bhuvi and Josh Hazelwood. It looks okay on paper, but I don't think they have enough resources to be a challenging team. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this bunch sort of comes together. The one good name I liked them, pick up today was that of Tim David. But again, you don't know which Tim David turns up. So all in all, I'm going with about 6.5 for RCB.
Okay, so there's 6.5. There is 6.5. There is 7, and there is Siddharth
2
with 2.
Yep.
You're also 6.5 for RCB. You're a 6 at for RCB, no?
No, sorry. So there is 1 6. The first one is not 6.5. It's 6. Yes, that's correct.
Actually, I'll also change it to 6.
Okay, so 2 6s, 1 7,
Harsh.
and 1.
They're not
one.
that different.
You gave 7.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us to.
No, I'm just telling.
He's given 6. Let's go. Next team. Nobody's questioning your 7. You deserve it. I'm not saying no, Shashwat. I think it's wrong. I think they're worse than that. Why have you given them 7? No, I think you should give them 5.
I gave them 2.
Yeah,
She
see,
said you're
I'm
spoiled.
not arguing with
Whole average.
Siddharth if he's given 2.
2 is very
I
high.
have my justification, and we are
Sure, you gave that. Let's move on. You heard your justification.
DC.
Any team. Let's go in order. Which are the ones that we missed from the first?
MI.
The first one.
CSK.
Yeah, so let's start. Let's go. CSK.
No captaincy doubts there, right?
Yeah,
No
captains.
opening doubt.
Any thoughts, any problems, any trouble that you see with this team?
Instead of a Vijay Shankar, I'm playing an Ashwin. 9.75 crores, you are not keeping him in the side.
No, but they're not like for like, no? Siddharth, how is it that you compare the two of them? They are very different players. So one is a spinner and the other is an all-rounder, mostly a batter. So how are they interchangeable? You can bring him, then you'll have to make a few other changes to get your balance right. You could do it.
Yeah. See, you were
Again,
going
The
this is
only-
not- see, what I'm saying is this is not cast in stone. This
Yeah.
is just a suggestive 11, but it's
Yep.
giving you an idea about the team. You can, for our viewers, they are able to see the entire squad as well, so they can
Yeah.
decide if they want to change. But I'm just asking you any troubles that you see at the moment in terms of their balance. in
spin
terms of
department is sorted. Pace department is, I think, the one area where they could have gotten well, although they have gotten Mukesh Chaudhary back.
Ellis.
Nathan Ellis is there, who can bowl those cutters and can nail the Yorkers in on those sticky Chepauk wickets that's going to be presented to them in April and May. So, but then again, the overseas combination will be a problem if you get in an Ellis, because you got a Conway. Conway is a definite starter. Patirana is a definite starter. Then you got either Karan or Rachin Ravindra coming in. Either of those two. And Noor, will have to
yeah.
play.
Why you? If I'm looking at money spent, then I think you are looking at a greater involvement of Ravichandran Ashwin than Noor. That's the way I look at it. And I also remember, if the wickets weren't
10
to Noor's
crore.
liking, Noor was taken to the cleaners last year as well.
No, but before that he had an outstanding season.
Yes. So again, look at the price that they got him for.
10 crore for Noor, 9.75 for
No, I'm
Ashwin.
saying the argument is not about 11. You're not. I mean, people can make their own 11.
Yeah.
They can see the full squad. My point is, what do you make of this squad? Are you seeing any weak areas? You play Ashwin, no problem.
I think I'd give them 5 because I'd given 6.5. No, I'd give them 6 because I just feel that firepower is lacking.
There's Dubey there. There's Ruturaj there. He can fire.
There is Tripathi Huda, who
No,
can
no,
also
no.
raise
I
the
still feel lacking firepower. Just 2-3 names if you have to think of it. So yeah, I think they're lacking firepower.
I
6.
think that number 3 is also. I mean, don't know how Tripathi
Yeah,
will
that's
play, but they do bat deep. Also,
But Tripathi's best years have come under MS Dhoni when you look at it. So you would want that kind of a resurgence all over again. Because
You're talking
Rising Pune
16,
Super Giant-
17.
Rising Pune Super Giant.
Yeah, 16, 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first year Dhoni was
yeah,
captain.
Dhoni was captain.
he did well second year when they reached the final.
Yeah, sure. Half part was Steve Smith, half part was MS Dhoni. No?
He learned the first year, executed the second.
Anyway, so yeah, what you giving?
6.
I'm going 7.5 for this.
Same,
squad.
exactly the same.
I'm going higher for this squad because it's looked better to me than KKR.
And there's
Plus,
there's
I gave
MS.
6.5 to KKR. KKR, right? 6 to that. I can go 7 also.
But what do you think is better than which team did we do? RCB and KKR?
Sorry?
What's better? In which facet do you think they're?
In everything. Look at how deep they bat. And also, I always give this to teams, stable teams, tend to do well. Stable teams in terms of captaincy as well. Both teams, I don't even know who the captain is. They'll keep changing. With CSK, I know season after season, MS Dhoni in charge. They pick squads based on the strengths that they have. They get the best out of their players. I know Ruturaj is the captain, but the brains there. And Ruturaj also did a very good job
Very
as
good.
captain.
He was the
last
leading
time.
run getter for
So
CSK last
stable openers, that's the one thing that I did not get with KKR, as I told you at the beginning. They get that. Dubey was outstanding for them for 2 seasons now. So you expect him to turn. Vijay Shankar, I think they've got a very good deal. He did well for GT. So, you can utilize him. He's going back home. I think the all-rounders that they've packed in, that's the other advantage. I mean, imagine Jadeja now. If I was to look at a impact player, they bat till 9. And that's the other strength that they had last time. Batting really deep and getting enough bowlers. So I think the balance is there.
I only hope Vijay Shankar, if he's picked, gets more games. Because when he was picked initially for CSK, remember this is second homecoming. He didn't get many games for CSK. Hardly 1 or 2 games, if I'm not missing those 3 years that was there.
So you gave 6, you gave 6, I gave 7, you gave
I'm going 7.5.
7.5.
Always that extra mark for MS the captain.
Okay. No,
Oh.
you mean Gaikwad the captain.
Brains, he's talking about.
MS the brains.
MS the de facto captain.
Yeah, that I'll also give them 6.5. If half number for MS, I obviously have to.
Okay, 6.5. Please make for Shashwat instead of 6. He's changed his mind. Okay. Let's turn our attention to the next team on the list, which is we've done
You've done RCB.
MI. And I'll start off. Usually MI teams always give me like wow feeling, but even though they retained their core and they did the best job in retention, I'm not liking their picks in the auction.
Same
It's
here,
left a lot to be desired.
Yep.
And so the MI team that I saw after retention was looking like it's going to be the peak MI team that they used to always assemble. Now
Yeah, especially around their
Bit
lower
iffy.
middle order, and the same issue that has plagued Mumbai Indians every single time. Spinner. They haven't utilized this auction to get a good
no,
spinning
they've
wicket.
got Ghazanfar
And Mitchell Santner.
yeah.
But again, Allah Ghazanfar, yes, he got a 6-wicket haul in that Bangladesh ODI that they played.
Please
in
give a
Sharjah.
star in front of Ghazanfar so you know there are 4 foreigners.
Yeah. I know that Allah Ghazanfar took a 6-wicket haul against Bangladesh in that ODI that he's an off-break bowler. So that is why there is a bit of a novelty factor about Allah Ghazanfar. And yes, it's not his first IPL team. He was picked by Kolkata Knight Riders also, Allah Ghazanfar. But then Mitchell Santner, if he doesn't do well for Mumbai Indians, blame Chennai Super Kings. Because they rarely played Mitchell Santner. So that's why he's lucky that he's got a franchisee this time. But if he's not doing well in the IPL, you know who to blame, the men in yellow.
How much are you giving?
5 out of 10.
Oh, no. I'm going 7.5 for Mumbai.
More than KKR
No,
RCB?
yeah. I'm going. Because see, again, at the top they'll have Rohit, who was in outstanding form at the T20 World Cup. You have to keep that in mind. I didn't like what they've done at the auction.
Yeah.
But the core, they retained. No, so that also comes into when you look at that. Then you got Sky at number 3. You got Tilak in outstanding form. You got a Hardik Pandya there. Naman Dheer is pretty good. I love Santner personally. I just think he's one of the best white ball spinners all-rounder that you have. Deepak Chahar will do well in those conditions. Jasprit Bumrah, again cheat code, 4 overs. He did that. I can't ignore all of that. And then Trent Bolt in those conditions. So it is a 7.5. I'm saying they could have gone much higher with their thing, but I cannot put them below 7.5.
I'd give 7. I think there's too much to desire for here. It's just the batters, who they have retained. Other than that, there's nobody else you can bank on. Bowling, I feel, is very one-dimensional. Again, this bowling lineup will be very dependent on Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt, Deepak Chahar, same kind of bowlers. You could have gotten a different sort of a bowler in that sense. Spin bowling also a problem. Ghazanfar and Mitchell Santner don't know much about. They'll really, even if they're at their 100%, I don't know how much can they actually do. So I'm going to give 6. 6, yeah.
6.
6.
Okay, not 7, 6.
I'm going 7.5. Yes, of course, the better work was done prior to the auction. And I think that's the reason that this team didn't need to have a fantabulous auction as well. Nobody gets to have the perfect team, or maybe gone are those days for Mumbai Indians, because at one point they did have the near perfect IPL team for quite a while.
2020.
Yeah. However, I don't see still a lot of, you say that most teams when Jasprit Bumrah is playing, you're actually playing about 16 overs and not 20. I'll actually say with this Mumbai team, that number further comes down to 14. I am taking into account the 2 overs of Trent Bolt as well, and he can
No, he's not cheat code.
But
he can get hammered also as
But
well.
the day that he's on song in those conditions in Mumbai, I think he's a real weapon to have, and he will give you. He'll probably seal matches for you in the power play itself. And I do look at him, just him in tandem with Jasprit Bumrah, couple of overs there, then comes in Deepak Chahar. I think in those conditions, it makes for a good bowling combination. So I'm going 7.5, and I don't see a lot of weakness in this side.
Yeah, we did not, because we needed to fit a spinner in. So there can only be 4 foreigners, no? How will we play the 5th?
So 7.5.
We remove a Ghazanfar and then we only get in a Will Jackson.
You also 7.5?
Yeah, but then you don't have another spinner.
That's the problem. That's why I think this auction yet again is a missed opportunity for Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, we can get in Will Jacks. In fact, when we were looking at it, we could. Again, as I said, there's no argument in terms of, what the 11 is going to be like, or what the thing is. You guys are free to make your own 11. You can see the full squad there.
Yeah.
The issue is only in terms of the balance of the squad that we're looking at. Okay, turning our attention to the next team.
There is a 5 that you have to add. I had put a 5. Yeah. Next team is...
What kind of points are these? I think, Siddharth's trying to make up for the gaffe that he did with 2. Now what he's doing is that 2 I said very bad. Now I have to give, I'll only give 4, 5, 4, 5. So I'm in that range.
No, not really.
Like,
because
I mean, seriously, like a team I'm just saying, you're digging yourself into a hole.
there are other teams. Wait for that.
Okay, I hope you go to 7 and 8s. Because there cannot be any team that doesn't reach there, no?
Yeah, there
I
will
hope
be
so.
teams.
Then
There
it's
will be
fine.
teams. Don't
Then it's
worry.
fine. We'll wait for it. SRH.
Well, they also have some issues, but I think especially when you look at what is there, because see, batting, no problem. Pace bowling, I think their bowling is sorted. Again, spinner, that is another issue that is there. But still, the makeup of the squad and the core that they have retained and the additions that they've had the best auction, which I may have to admit. So, I'm going with a 7 for SRH in this squad.
The team has come 7.
Oh, okay. Who's going next?
I'll also not. I actually don't quite think, that they've done themselves a lot of good in the auction. I think their bowling looks weak to me in comparison, perhaps to the team that they had last year. Yes, they've got a Cummins, Harshal's added, Shami's added, there's a Rahul Chahar, but again, slots 6 and 7 in the team that we have right now don't give me a lot of confidence. So, not the best auction if you ask me. There's a lot of firepower for sure, but the bowling and the lower order doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So, I'm going 6.5 for SRH.
I'd go with a 6 for SRH. Not done too much at the auction. Not too many options again. Just the top. I think it's just till number 5. After that, their batting is going to the middle order. There are not too many options. Cummins and Harshal. Yeah, they can be called as people who can chip in with, but they aren't hard hitting, middle order batters who can finish the games for you. Abhinav Manohar and Kamindu Mendes, I'm not too sure about them either. Bowling, fast bowling is fine, but again, spinners, they don't have any good spinners, and there were so many for offer. It's really surprising that Piyush Chawla doesn't make it to any 11. He's one of
that's another surprise.
That's
I
a really big
And,
surprise.
Mumbai could easily have, and they may still go ahead and do that, but yeah, it was a real shocker that they didn't rope in the man who actually did deliver for them on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I agree.
So 6 for me too. You
6. See, many people will argue that what are you looking at the combination and looking at the depth. Last time only Abhishek and Head did it for them. All they needed was just 2 players. That's it. And Cummins to come and chip in. This time Harshal and Cummins will come in. That'll be it.
Plus,
What
there's
else-
Shami Bhai.
Exactly. What else do they need any more players for? What's the point of looking down the order? I don't think it's that bad a team. I'm going 7 for this team. It's not bad. I think they've also kind of retained their core. Nitish Reddy is in tremendous form. Ishan, I think, will be hungry to do well. Klassen, one of the best T20 batters that there is. The best opening pair in IPL they have in Head and Abhishek. And then Cummins, the captain. Harshal did very well. Shami comes in. I like that team. I like this team. It's not bad. 7. I'm going 7 for SRH.
That can be interchangeable in that sense. Swap.
We're not making 11s.
Yeah.
Just looking at the comp.
Yeah, next team is Capitals. Yes. The Delhi
finally.
Capitals.
I was waiting.
I mean, even they, I think they overcame the heartbreak of Pant, I think easily. I think it was a good move and I think a very sensible auction that Delhi Capitals had. Their bowling attack, I mean, if you look at it, it's all gone left. They're all left leaning. Barring a Mukesh, I mean, you got a Natarajan, you got a Stark, you got a Mohit, who's also on the right hand. You got Stark, Natarajan, Kuldeep, Aksar. 4 left-handers in the bowling lineup. And in the batting also, yes, slight wobble in the middle order, but I think Delhi Capitals have had their best auction in a very, very long time. So, I also like this. It's flexible enough. They've got backups also. So, I'm going with a 7 even for Delhi Capitals.
I think a great job. I'm really
Oh my
very
God, am
happy
I
with
here
what
hearing-
Delhi has done. It's
Can I
Am
go?
I hearing the right
I
Go
thing?
and clean my ears.
See, I'll be very, very honest. A great job. I'm really happy. I did not want to jinx it. So I was just being a little skeptical yesterday. But it's a tremendous job. I'm really happy. I'm very proud to be a fan of Delhi
You
Capitals.
remind me of
It
that
is a
character in
great
Jo
job.
Bole So Nihal.
No, it is a great job. Bowling covered, fast bowling is covered. You have Stark, Natarajan, Mukesh. Spin bowling covered. You have Kuldeep, Aksar. Middle order, you have the best middle order. I think till now that we have seen, you have Stubbs, Ashutosh or Rizvi. Aksar is somebody. And Harry Brook, Abhishek Purell. Opening also, a great opening pair. KL Rahul definitely will get 400, 500 runs. Just one issue, just because that Kala Tika you put on something that's too good. I think that is KL Rahul's captaincy. That is the Kala Tika for this team. So I think that is also fine. I'm okay with it. I just hope that he does. See again, I was just thinking about the blunders KL Rahul has done as a captain. I remember the game. Punjab were chasing, I think, 4 odd runs in the final over. The one Karthik the Age defended.
Yeah, he just conceded 2 runs.
So these things, I just want captaincy should be looked at, and really happy what this new setup has done. Hemang Badani, as he mentioned, I just hope he does equally well on the field like he has done off the field. For me personally, I think it's I'd give them. Because we haven't seen the other teams. I'm tempted to give 9, but I'd go for an 8.
You know, you remind me of this character in Jo Bole So Nihal. ओए निहाले मैं तो सिर्फ तुम्हें चिढ़ा रहा था ताकि तुम उस गद्दार रोमियो को मार सकते
No,
हो.
but
You remind me of that.
No, honestly, a very good job. Great
okay,
job.
Okay. Yes. Other DC fan on our panel.
I think I'm also very satisfied with what I've seen from Delhi at the auction. It's probably the first time I would have said this for Delhi after an auction in easily the last 2 to 3 auctions that I can recall them going into. But the other good thing when I see it, when I look at the whole squad, forget the 11 that we have on the screen right now, is the backups that they have, and they've got good backups. You've got a Faf, you've got a Karun Nair. I know Karun Nair doesn't, bring in that much weight, but at certain points you will need a Karun Nair as an impact guy because you will fall into.
The day you'll need a Karun Nair, you are in.
I'm saying, yes, it's not a good day. It's not a good day, but
it's
again,
not a good place to be in.
Exactly, but he's the kind of impact sub you will need when you lose your 3-4 in the power play, and it will happen to DC on a couple of occasions, and I know that for a fact. So. But I look at other backups as well. I think Delhi have done a good job. The 11 that we have at the moment gives me confidence about this team. I'm going with 8.5 for them, given the 11 that we have on a screen right now. Considering the backups as well, I think overall a good squad.
Roar macha diya.
I'm going.
And bowling's very good, by the way. Bowling's very good.
I'm going 7. I've still put the Mumbai squad slightly ahead of them.
Really?
Yeah. I've gone 7.
For the batting firepower.
Yeah. Because no, I'll tell you, I still think you've got a Purell who did well, but he's still your number 3. Brook has had not the best IPLs that there is. So
no, but I don't think Purell is going to be our number 3. And Brook, I know I was also a little concerned about that. But what Faf has done, with Faf coming into the side, I think that has sort of
but
been
then
looked at.
you'll have to get rid of a overseas player.
No. Brook, in place of Brook, you'll get enough Faf.
Yeah, but again, Faf also
Purell.
the kind of season they had, RCB let him go. No, so I'm not that kicked.
He had a decent season. I think the reason to let him go also was the age factor here.
No, whatever is the first. Okay, same thing. No, that factor will. He doesn't become any younger as soon as he's joined.
He can play here, no?
It's not a question. You looking at 3 seasons. I'm looking at the team.
I'll play Rizvi and Ashutosh both if that's the problem.
I'm worried
then
about
play
the
them.
fact.
Then make that 11 like that. But you have picked your thing. No, you cannot tell me to pick what I have to pick.
I was just.
For me, this side is inferior to Mumbai Indians, so I will give them 7.
No, I'm only worried about one thing in the
You can give them 9.
I wanted to just
No,
because
you
we
can.
haven't.
It's your team.
No, we haven't seen the other team.
But
yet,
for me, they are 7.
I can change it later on, right?
No, you cannot.
Once we take out
No.
the average.
This is cast in stone.
Okay, but great job.
Yeah, well done.
Well.
No, I'm only happy to see for someone who was so skeptical about their team and their picking. I'm happy that
We
you
even have a Kala Tika in
now
the team.
you have gone the other extreme. You are like drooling over them.
As I said, your Jo Bole So Nihal ka that character.
Okay, 7 for me for this team. Let's head to the
LSG.
next team.
Next team, LSG. Yes, it's LSG.
LSG.
The team that stole the show in the IPL auction. 27 crores Rishabh Pant. And basically, whatever was of Delhi, he's managed to take it to Lucknow. I mean, if you look at it, Badoni is
They
there.
can take Delhi's finishing positions as well.
Not just Delhi, he has taken lots of other things too
Yeah.
with him.
Some issues around their opening. I mean, I know they took Arshin Kulkarni and all of that, but still inexperienced in that sense. 6.5 for me for the LSG team. This squad, 6.5.
You know, Mayank is the obvious leader of the bowling attack, but how many games do I get from Mayank? I have doubts
You don't
about
consider
that.
Avesh to be the bowling leader?
Absolutely not. I think he was retained for a reason. Mayank, he was paid the big bucks, and he's the X factor, not Avesh. So I look at Mayank as my go-to guy with the ball. And while there is firepower, there's enough firepower, but the bowling and the lower order gives me some, jitters about this team because which Abdul Samad turns up, you don't know. And even if the right Abdul Samad turns up, there's only so much fear that he instills. So from 7 to 10, I'm not sure about them. I'm going with 7 for LSG.
Surprising, but again, I'd go with a 5. Not the best opening pairs, a decent enough middle order again. No, just the one player who is a little scary is Nicholas Puran. Apart from that, I don't think anybody gives too much confidence. Pant, I said not just the top order. Rishabh Pant, Puran, just these two. Sorry.
Not Badoni, the guy whose praises you keep singing day in and day out for every day of the week. Now he's out.
No, Nikhil, he doesn't sing praises for Ayush Badoni.
No,
It's
I
only one name. एक ही नाम सुनाई देता है, Swastik Chikara.
No. But even Badoni, I know. I keep listening to it every day. He keeps going Badoni this, Badoni that, which is fair. Arey, he's done this, these many sixes he's hit.
No, it's not a good enough spin bowling at a spin
Arey,
attack.
but suddenly you said only one player, then you made it 2, now 3.
No.
Now you've said sorry,
the
batting is
opening
okay.
isn't-
Now spinning is the problem.
No, opening
also is a problem.
No, opening is the problem. Middle order is fine. Only the middle order is fine, in fact, in this whole team. I think it's just the middle order and the fast bowling attack. Fast bowling also, they don't have many options in that sense. They have Hangar Kekar, they have Akash Singh, they have, not too many options in that sense as well. So 5 for me.
I'm going with a 6.5 for this team, primarily because Markram has been a bit out of form and they really don't have, these are like all makeshift openers they are coming with.
Marsh is
So that is a bit of an issue. Pant again, not the most explosive T20 batter, he's been playing a control role. Puran Badoni give me a lot of hope. Puran in fact for me the best T20 batter, which is why I've gone 6.5, other I've come down. Samad again, Miller also didn't have a great last season. Bishnoi also not now as potent as he used to be. Mohsin did have a decent season coming back. Mayank can be good again. We don't know with the problems that may have. So I was actually going to give 6 to this team, but only because it's got that one man, Nicholas Puran, who I'm a huge fan of, who can turn games on its head just on his own batting. So that's why I've given them 6.5.
Shivam, I know we were really happy with the job they had done yesterday, but by the look of it, it doesn't look that.
Okay,
Nicholas Puran Singh.
let's go. Next team.
PBKS, is it?
Yes, Punjab Kings.
The Punjab Kings.
Yeah, 110 crores they started with, and they have only 35 lakhs remaining. They spent 119.65 crores.
This is a bit of a mixed bag team. I think some things they nail. I think some things they haven't nailed. But I'm starting with this one. I think the opening is still not settled. Prabhsimran they retain, but again it's not the most explosive batting lineup. Shreyas, they've got a settled captain. He batted 3, good batter. Maxwell, depends the season that has, but with Shreyas, Maxwell, Stoinis, Shashank, Vadera and Jansen to come at 8, it's looking good. Vijay Kumar Vishak did well. Yuzi outstanding, and so is Arshdeep. I'm going 7 out of 10 for this team. It's looking good, but not so much 7.5 because I think they're assembling for the very first time. All of those things make a huge difference. And the reason I gave Mumbai 7.5 because they've been together, they know how to do it. That experience you can't buy. But just on the look of the team, I'm going 7 with PBKS.
I'd go 7.5. In fact, I think after Delhi, this looks a very settled unit. Good spinners to have in your team. Yuzi Chahal you have, so he's somebody who will definitely win you games. Maxwell as an off spinner, decent enough, more than I think a good firepower filled. I think middle order. You have Prabhsimran and English to give you that fiery start. Shreyas Iyer to settle the team down in the middle. Good fast bowlers in Arshdeep and Jansen, Vijay Kumar Vishyak. I think he did want to go with one more spinner in this 11, but I'm just going by the side. So if they would want to go with another spinner, I think that's the only problem. And
They also have an Asmatullah Omarzai, by the way.
yeah, but they don't have too many backups. That's why just a little less than Delhi. So 7 for me to PBKS.
This 11, by the way, just has 3 foreigners, right?
No. English also.
English.
Oh,
yeah, they have to
English.
Put a star on English.
Yeah, because I think you've got a very good option in Lockie Ferguson, and I think
Yeah, but
he-
then again, no, your opening is an issue. We've spent time doing that.
Yeah.
Harshit, you could not fit anybody else there.
Yeah.
none of the local guys. I was just hoping if you could perhaps include or maybe.
You can. You spent 3.5 crores on Priyansh Arya, so you can go with him instead of English and get in a Lockie Ferguson. But who would you want to remove? Vijay Kumar Vishyak, I think to start off with is a very good option.
That's what I'm saying.
Only looking at again Vijay Kumar Vishak, new ball. I have my doubts over
No,
there.
but I think the trade-off is a lot, no? See, again, it's not an argument the 11. Fine, you are playing whatever you want. We want a opinion.
But
on
it looks like an okay side to me. Given that they started from scratch, I think they've done some very good purchasing. I will be a little generous over here, and I'll go 0.5 extra, so 7.5 for me. Given that they started from scratch, I like the point about Mumbai Indians, the comparison you made, and that's to do with. Every team, in fact, which is why you want the core. And I remember valuing that and giving, I had that kind of a verdict for KKR because they did exactly what Mumbai do. But this from scratch, where they've gotten the individual players that I see, I think good side, 7.5.
I agree with all of your points, so that's why I'm also going with a 7. Because yes, there are some bottlenecks that they'll have to ensure that they overcome.
So, just to check, 2 for RCB, 7 for this team.
Yes. We are just getting star-spangled because it's RCB and it's Virat Kohli.
No, Vishy sir.
Of course.
They've done a good job today. Credit.
How on
See,
earth-
last time I also with you gave them 2 only, but this
No,
time
I'm
they've done a
sorry.
good
I'm
job.
not like the Joe Bole Soniyal character where I change tune just because, okay. It is. I mean, see, he was the one who was criticizing, but then later on when he got success, Nihale, I only wanted to tease you so that you could hit that Gaddar Romeo. That's not the way how it works. Let's move forward. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Joe Bole Soniyal. Next team, please. Sat Sri Akal. Yeah.
KKR we already
already
rated. Yeah, we got 2
RR
teams left.
RR and GT.
Okay, let's go with GT. They've got Gill, Butler, Sai Sudarshan, Glenn Phillips. Yeah, that's a SRK Tewatia, Sundar, Sai Kishore, Koitsi, Rabada, Siraj. This is looking like a good team
Good
to
team.
me. It's got all bases covered. They're always very sensible when they go to an auction. So I'm actually going 7.5 for this team.
Plus 1.
7.5.
8.5.
7.5. Agree with you. 7.5.
Plus 1.
Plus 1.
8.5.
I am going with 8.5, the same assessment I had for Delhi Capitals. There was a little bit of bias there for DC, and that's where my judgment, I would say, got a little blurred. But here I'm doing this without any bias. I think GT were rather prudent at the auction, and they've assembled a good team. Right mix, right balance. Just need, and there are individual match winners I see in this team. Looking good, 8.5.
Interesting. I'd give, I think, a little less than Delhi. The reason being Delhi has spinners here. The spin department, I feel, is a little.
that, the Sai Kishore.
No, just Sai Kishore, na? And Sundar. No backup. I would want a wrist spinner.
Glenn Phillips.
No,
yeah,
I
they
see.
got 3
I
spinners.
would. If there's an IPL team without a wrist spinner, then I think that's an
See,
issue.
it should be named the Tamil Nadu Giants, not the Gujarat Giants.
So
The
if there-
Tamil Nadu Titans, not the Gujarat
So,
Titans.
so if there is no wrist spinner, I think that's going to be an issue. Moving ahead, Tewatia, I know, but how much has he even bowled
Tewatia has
in the
hardly.
exactly in the past few seasons? So that's why a little less than Delhi, 7.5. But yeah, a great job, great batting order, firepower is there. They're batting deep. Everything is done. Just not many backups. And I would have wanted a wrist spinner. So yes, half less than Delhi, 7.5.
Okay, we are going to be giving you a mean, a total based on this thing. Whoever is good in math will have to do You'll have to divide it and
Yeah.
find us.
The one good at it is in the data center right now.
Data center guy, will you be able to do it?
Yes.
Take all our points and give us a average score. We're still left with one team, and let's give the ratings here, and then one by one we'll give you a collective rating for each team as we wind up the show. But the last team coming up, that is Rajasthan Royals. You could start, Siddharth.
Yeah, the Sri Lanka Royals, when we look at it, that's a pretty decent team, you look at it, but I was surprised by the choice of so many spinners, because Sikshana, Hasaranga, when you look at it, their pace bowling department lacks a bit of experience, Jofra Archer, but then solid auction for them. So I'm going with 6.5.
After the okay, I'd in fact give them 8. I'd match it with Delhi. In fact, a very good team. The all bases covered. Just not too many backups. So I don't know. Should have given Delhi 8.5 in that sense then. But Rajasthan Royals, I'd match it with Delhi because 11 definitely looks really good. Fast bowling, they have an Archer, they have Akash Madwal and Sandeep Sharma. Good spinners in Theekshana, Hasranga, Riyan Parag can be an option. Number 3 could have been, I don't know, it's Nitish Rana is also really fine. They also have the firepower, I think the second best opening pair, maybe the third best opening pair, second or third best opening pair, as far as all the teams are concerned. So yeah, 8 for them as well.
I'm going 7.5. It's a good, very well balanced team, as you expect with Rajasthan Royals always. They come up with good again. They'll also have a continuation of their captain, pretty much the same squad that they had earlier. So all bases covered, good spinners as I can see. Hasaranga, they'll bat deep. If Archer is in good form,
Yes.
then they've got everything. Yeah, Theekshana, mystery spinner, Sandeep Sharma was very good. So I think they've got it sorted. It was a close fight between a 7 and a 7.5 for me. But I just, I always like the underdog, so I've just given him that 0.5 for that. But yeah, that's my answer.
I'm going again with the most generous rating that I've had all along. So 8.5 for me for this side.
Oh.
One thing I really like is that the core is intact, and they do finally, after all these years of backing a few players, seem to have found the winning formula. It worked out under Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson is the new Sanju Samson altogether. Became the first player, as we all know, to score back-to-back T20I tons. I like that there is a Fazalak Farooqi as a good backup as well. I may not need Theekshana always. I've got Riyan Parag to bowl 3 overs. He's bowling more regularly than ever before. Hasaranga's good.
Bowls, well within the crease.
Yeah, that is something he would have learnt after his recent adventures. And I like Akash Madwal's inclusion as well. So looking like a good team to me. 8.5 is what I'll go with. And they have Nitish Rana to chip in and help Sanju Samson if need be.
Yep.
Okay, let's start from team number 1 quickly.
Okay. So the mean, when you have to look at it, if it's going to be in that range, CSK, the mean is 7.
WhatsApp open there in the system?
Yeah.
Sorry, who are we starting with?
With CSK.
Okay.
So each of us had tallied 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5. Okay.
So what is the mean?
So that comes to a total of 7.
7 is the mean. Okay.
7 out of 10.
Okay, you can you can remove all of that. Just write 7 is the number that you're looking for. Okay.
7 out of 10.
In brackets, please.
Yeah. Okay. So that.
Next.
Yeah. Next team. Now this is quite easy. It comes down to 5.25. 5. Just get it to 5. Yeah. I mean, 21 divided by 4.
Siddharth has
we
ruined
know
this point system.
who to blame for bringing that
I mean,
average
5
down.
out of 10. I mean, everybody would agree with that assessment.
There
5
is
out of
there is someone who's given 7 also. So you've ruined the mean by giving it a 2. That's why I said that, giving such extreme numbers.
Not really. It's balanced out. 5.
Okay, so
5.25.
5.25. Give it 5.25, whatever it is. Yeah, in bracket.
Already we are giving them very less.
Yeah, let's turn our attention to the next team. MI, what's our
Okay, so
collective score?
when you look at it, it is that was a 5, right? That someone gave.
Yes.
So 7.5, 7.5, 6 and 5. Okay.
You only gave it.
No, I didn't give. Okay, maybe I must have given it. So it comes down to 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, because it is 26.
Again, your 5-pointer has ruined the overall
Yeah,
average.
6.5 out of 10. Okay. So, okay, SRH, when you look at it, it is 26.5 divided by 4. So that comes down to, again, roughly about 6.6 when you look at it. 6.6,
Okay.
roughly. Because it's 26.5 divided by 4.
What's the average for DC we've got?
So for DC, this will be quite good for you guys. Because
Can I
it's-
increase 0.5 here?
No, it's already been
It's already done. I've already done the calculation also.
Ah.
So it is 7.6.
7.6.
7.6.
Next.
Okay.
You spent like 5 minutes talking about that franchise, salivating over it, drooling over it, and then you could not figure out a point, and now you want to change that.
No,
also.
at that point also I said I would want to change after seeing all the teams. That's why.
So this comes down to 6.25. LSG, 6.25 out of 10. Okay. Then Punjab. Punjab Kings, if you look at it, 28.
LSG was
6.25.
Okay.
Punjab Kings 28.5 divided by 4 will give you 7.1.
Okay.
And the next will be KKR. KKR will get you a total of 7.5 because it's 13 plus 6 is
19.
yeah 19 and 8 27. So 27 divided by 4. Actually, you can make it 7.7. 7.7. Yeah. Kissan's height. Then you have GT and RR. That's there. 7.7. I think that's the highest that we have got so far. Okay. So this equals 22.31 divided by 4 will get you 7.7. 7.7 for GT.
I don't think KKR got as many as to reach 7.7.
I mean, look at it. It was we had gotten 0.5s in that range, na? So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah. It equal to 30. GT RR is 6.5, 7.5. That equals 14, 22, 30.5. So that again comes down to 7.6.
Delhi definitely, I think, out and out the best of the
Okay, you guys let us know what you think. It's been a long night.
Yes.
long 2 nights.
We'll wind it up. See you tomorrow, day after. Of course, coverage continues on Sports Today.
There's no test match tomorrow, no.
Yeah, it's
Back to test cricket.
it's a Tuesday already.
Yes. Mangal ho gaya. It is right. It is right. It is right. I mean, we did a calculation divided by 4. But okay, if it comes to
KKR
0.6, 0.5, 0.4.
No, that is not an issue. But I just, if it's minor, no. But I don't know. I can't remember all of us giving KKR that much points for it to top.
I did give like I think 7.58.
And I also gave in that range only. 7.5.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Take care. Bye bye. Good night. Nandri. Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Shabba khair. Eat your vegetables. Stay safe. Thank you so much for
so much. Thank you.
and continue and please subscribe to
Subscribe,
Sports
yeah.
Today for continuing coverage of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. IPL auction done. It's now only Border Gavaskar Trophy and the
She's
World
a-
Chess Championship.
World Chess Championship. And you can turn your head here also.